We are, I think we are go.
Oh, we are
All
go.
right.
Excellent. We're live. And Rebecca, can you hear us okay?
Yep.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the
everyone.
presentation of GameRT's Twitch program, Low Stress, High Mayhem, where we're going to choose a ttrpg, gather some librarians, play together, and talk about how that game would work for a library.
I am Danielle Costello, the current GameRT Events Programming Chair. I'm a research and instruction librarian at Louisiana State University, where I teach library instruction and develop programming for our student body.
My name is Russell. I'm the data services librarian at Fant Memorial Library at the Mississippi University for Women. I'm also the director at the Cossin Center for Teaching and Learning at the W. And I am a programming and planning committee GameRT Goblin.
Oh, I like that. I like the Goblin. Helping us today, you can't see her, but she is our GameRT president, Rebecca Strang, and she will be helping us snag questions and add links to the chat. So give a hi in the chat for her. And this event is being held live. However, if you need to, we will like you to, if you need to watch it again or you want to dip out, not a problem. We're going to have the Twitch on demand accessible right after we stream. If you aren't following GameRT on Twitch already, please give us a follow so we can build our channel. Links for all the places you can find us, like our blog, Facebook, Discord, will be posted below throughout the stream, so please check those out as well. And for anyone previously not familiar with GamesRT, we are the Games and Gaming Roundtable of American Library Association. Our mission is to promote gaming in libraries where whether it's programming, collection development, community building, prototyping, playtesting, researching, just having a good time with each other, all that is our purview.
And along with this new Twitch programming, GameRT has a couple more professional development series that are a professional development and webinar series and a learn and play series. We're usually going to alternate these every month. This month we have the learn and play for Jackbox on Friday, September 30th. Jackbox Games, they're a popular online based social game for groups of people that can be played in person and virtually, making them perfect for teen and adult library programs. You can learn tips and tricks for running Jackbox at your library and then play some games with us. The link for registration will be added to the chat as well.
And as far as Twitch goes, we are in a very highly experimental mode for our programming. But what we have so far is our ttrpg actual play series called Low Stress, High Mayhem. Yep.
Keep missing my cue.
One day we're gonna get it. We're gonna be professional like streamers as well as professional librarians. It's a grace period. So next Friday, we're also gonna start our second program called Roundtable. This is where we bring together several librarians and get a chance to chat about games, libraries, games in libraries, and all the ways we can bring play into our spaces. So now that we've explained all that, let's get to our program. So you know the format for this program. We're going to start with a description of the game, get into the rules of it, and then do an actual play where we get into the nuts and bolts and have some fun. And then finally, we're going to talk about our experience from a library perspective and kind of go into how we can possibly do programming for our various libraries and what we think is really cool from kind of the librarian point of view. So if you have any questions, please write them down in the chat. And after the actual play, during the discussion section, we'll go to those and kind of go through Q&A style. So let's play our game. Russell, if you'll describe it.
All right. So the game that we're going to be playing is Summer Break. This is a game by Joey Barranco. And I'm just going to go ahead and read the description at first because one of the great things, again, about this is that it's a one-page RPG. So things are pretty concise. Before getting thrown face first into the ferocious trauma that is high school, cling to your final summer break with friends and defend your childhood fort from dangers that definitely are not allegories for adulthood. So for this game, that is essentially it. That's how we're going to set this up. Danielle and I are going to play as two burgeoning teenagers moving out of summer and into the wonderful space that is high school. And we are confronting that reality throughout this. And so, hop down a little bit in Twitch, I think. But I'll fix that. I'll just
Look,
talk like
it's
this
you're the
more.
height you're supposed to be for this gameplay. You're little now.
Oh yeah, I'm Ralph's actual height. Okay, so but in setting up this game, we're gonna we're gonna focus on three different mechanics for our kids: think, feel, and do. And they essentially capture each one of those things. If you're doing something that requires your kid to perseverate on something, you're going to use that stat to roll from. If you feel something, so if you're doing something kind of impulsively, or maybe even something that the kid might be passionate about, you're going to roll feel. And then for do, that is just any sort of action, something that maybe you're climbing up the side of your treehouse, dropping a water balloon, anything like that on the danger. And that'll be part of kind of the playing of the game. We're also, so beyond just sort of setting up our kids, we're also going to set up our fort. So we get to select based on a set number of resources, the types of things that we want to bolster our fort with, because then we will then select a danger, and we're going to roll for all of these things. Basically, the type of danger that we select is going to affect how or what sort of things might happen if we roll a 6. Oh, that's something I didn't mention that Danielle so conveniently brought up. We're using D6s for this.
And that's it.
That's all you got to use. You just need one D6. We're going to be rolling on the table. And then, after we select our danger, we're going to go through gameplay. And gameplay is essentially going to be set up as a turn for the danger as well, and then followed by turns for the kids. And basically our job is to try to defeat the danger. The danger's job is to destroy our fort. And depending on who wins, it's going to be a rough go, I think. We're going to have a really intense battle with whatever danger that we've got going on. If we win, we get to stay in the fort. If we lose, we have to go to high school. So the stakes are pretty high, I think.
Well, thank you so much for describing it, Russell. Shall we go to the fort?
All right, let's go to the fort. All right. Yep, I think we're in the fort. We're in the fort.
You're in the exact height you need to be. Hold on, let me shrink down too. Yes.
So from our setup that we've got right here, you can see that we already have the name of our fort, Fort GameRT, and the names for each of our kids that we'll be playing. Danielle's going to be playing Gabby. I'll be playing Ralph, because of course Ralph is one of my favorite names ever.
It's such a kid name. It's a good kid name.
I know, it's funny. I've never met a Ralph in real life. I think that you just stay that age if you're named.
It's a very cinematic, I feel, like not a real person's name. It's like getting into a game or a piece of cinema. Definitely good for that.
Yes.
So shall we describe kind of our characters, since we did that part a little bit ahead of time in our session 0, going over things?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm Gabby Anos. I decided 13 that's when I remember going to high school, so that's what my character will be, like kind of at that cusp. She has short hair, big kind of Coke bottle glasses, and since this is kind of both blending what I know now and what I knew from my childhood, a Savannah Bananas jersey, because they are one of my most favorite baseball teams, and their ridiculousness just gives me such delight. She is not a thinker. She is a feeler and a doer. So my think is 1, my feels are 2, and my just actions without thoughts are 3. So that's gonna be a really interesting scenario. See what kind of trouble we get into. And yeah, that's my character so far. And then if you'll describe yours, Russell, and then we can get into kind of the bits and bobs of how we know each other, because that's also part of the build.
Yeah, and one of the fun things about games like these is because they're so rules light, you can focus a lot more on kind of the narrative relationships between things. So I will be playing as Ralph Forte, and he's named just like he seems. He's a bigger kid. Has kind of gone through middle school as kind of just pretty quiet, usually wearing baggier clothes, that sort of just kind of a kind dude who will occasionally say something that is just really funny and you don't expect it. And kind of the reverse of of that, in that he's a pretty big thinker, so my thinking is set at 3. He is also a bigger feeler than he is a doer, so he definitely is a 2 for feeling, and then his do is a 1. So we've got an interesting sort of composition here. Oh, and to describe Ralph, uh, just just imagine Ralph from the Magic School Bus.
I love that.
Is a mustard yellow, and
Mhm.
the shirt has a mustard stain on it, and it has a big Beta Club um,
There we
uh,
go.
logo across the front, because of course he's in Beta Club.
Of course. I love it so much. And I think like how our characters could relate, because we have somebody who's very dewy and somebody who's very thinky. So not necessarily the um most understandable of friendships, but maybe at the same time we balance each other out. And so I'm thinking my character was a scout. And so maybe could have met, like you're doing kind of like more electronic-y scout things. I'm doing more like I have camouflaged myself with like, very badly with like leaves and stuff. And I'm like, oh, what's going on over
Oh
here?
my gosh, I'm imagining, big dog, small dog energy. The whole but like in that, like Ralph just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, just kind of following the doer, that is Gabby, and just like always like, oh yeah, this is really
Yeah. Yeah.
cool. Yeah, really into knots. Ralph just really, kind of just usually maybe sits at the back and is like, he's usually kind of doing stuff by himself, but then maybe him and Gabby met definitely because, again, he had this cool idea, and Gabby's just like, you should do
Let's
that.
do this idea. Let's execute. Like, so yeah, I like that balance of like I have no plans whatsoever, so I would just be wandering around doing whatever I'd like versus like, oh, now with you, like that's why what our bond is like I now have a solid plan that I can like actually go towards and activate. So we make each other better.
I will be honest, Daniel. The kids that we've made are kind of the reverse. We are in planning this. um,
Yeah, I think that's the joy of it is like we picked them up once for session 0 and we're like, okay, these are the kids. Now I'm like, I want to tweak that. Like I don't what it's been like an entire semester since that like beginning of semester's been hard. So, but yeah, we'll discover who this Gabby and this Ralph are. It sounds fun.
yes.
Excellent. So let's go
And
to
so, just to kind of elucidate too the parts of the rules, we're done with the first page. Basically, we've talked about how they kind of got to know each other, and now we're going to build our fort. I'll go ahead and just read the rules out loud just so that we have that. Your fort is sacred. It is a place of safety, fun, and independence. You can imagine, I think there's probably like a little seated stool in the middle, and a lot of the time, Gabby is kind of pacing around, like talking about something, and Ralph is kind of like trying to write things down and be like, oh, yeah, okay. It is a place where grown-ups can't enter. Build your fort by spending fort points, FP. FP is determined by the number of kids, so 2 of us plus 6. And we add up the amount of FP from each fort trait to determine your fort's hit points for the game. So we have a total of 8 points that we get to spend.
so I think automatically alarm system makes a lot of sense. So it costs 1 FP. And so in this kind of chart of different things that we get to decide for a fort, which is part of building it's part of the fun, is we get to kind of imagine Home Alone style what our characters would put in their, best case, best fort scenario.
Mhm.
And some of them are going to be more expensive than other things. So things like weapons will cost 5 fort points. And I'll get into why I think that's really cool, like later in the discussion. But some things will cost like 1 fort point, and it'll be like an alarm system or electricity, like lighting, that kind of stuff.
So we've
So
added our alarm system, and that cost us 1 FP. So we have 7 FP left.
and if you'll select,
I think that, well, I mean, we've already placed ourselves in an elevated fort, I guess, on the Twitch stream.
that
So
makes
that
perfect
feature is
sense.
already there.
I mean, what's a fort without being like classically in a tree? I feel like platonic ideal in a tree.
Yeah. In that case, we get to spend 3 FP to either be elevated or underground, and it gives us some additional HP.
So now we're at 4 fort points. Um,
All right.
I think preparation is fantastic. So fortified walls. Do you think?
Fortified walls.
Like we just went to ham and we're like, ooh, there's some trash on the ground or like a pallet or something, and we're like, ooh, haul it up, like kind of like
That's definitely. I mean, again, even though Ralph is not much of a doer, I'm just imagining like Gabby being like, "Here, hold this," as like we're kind of digging through back alleys and just Ralph sitting there carrying a door. As Gabby is, we're walking to bolster.
Is Ralph like a buck maybe, or like our way you described him is a little bit larger?
Yes.
Okay,
He's
cool.
Definitely like kind of a broader.
Okay,
kid.
so I will be the one that's like holding the rope, thinking that I could hold this, and you let go to do something, and then I go flying.
Yes.
Like, wait,
Go
no, come
up
back. Yeah.
Oh man. So how many points did that cost?
Okay,
us?
so we're at 4 points. Let's see. Oh wait, no, we got the alarm system, elevated tree, so 5. We're at 6, so we get 2 more.
All right. 2 more, and it looks like the only thing that we have left, so on this build our fort page, is electricity.
Yeah.
I think, Ralph definitely wanted electricity because he probably got like one of those. Yeah, he's got like
little robots.
Yeah, yes,
like a little drone, like to be able to like see what's going on, and that could be the alarm system. It's like you have like an entire station with like old like Kindle fires and things, and like everything that was repurposed for this one purpose of like, okay, we're secure. This is our beautiful.
Ralph and Gabby always get really excited whenever a new phone comes out because they know they're going to be able to get old phones from people who can't turn them back in.
Little goblins.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait.
I also like the idea of so I was thinking about, it doesn't actually ask you for a fort name, but I think since our fort is sacred, we should have a fort name. And what better than to have like this weird amalgamation of all this stuff we got? And I'm gonna pitch this to you, Alexa, Siri, Google Maps.
Okay. Alexa, Siri, Google Maps.
We just yell out the whole thing to get our fort's attention.
All right, man. You really, really putting the challenges out there for this stream. There we go. I like it. Alexa, Siri, Google.
Look, don't listen to this outside of your headphones.
Sorry, I'm just processing that. That's why is because they don't know which one is going to activate it, so they just see it all.
Because it's just a little bit broken, and so they're like, this one, no, Siri's not working today. It's Google. Oh, it's Google today. Help!
Alexa, Siri, Google Maps. Turn off all lights. Wait, no. Hey, computer. All right, so now we're safe in our
silliness
fort.
done.
This is your fort computer reporting that Twitch has requested that you add a popcorn machine.
Yes. Thank you, Alexa, Siri, Google Maps. We found one in the back. Like we went to the theater specifically, and we're like, come on.
And they had discontinued it because the bulb was out, but now we just keep all of like the phone brick is what Ralph called it, but it's basically just this what probably could be unsafe brick of old phones that are all constantly charging, and it's just at the bottom and it kind of heats the popcorn. So occasionally you'll just hear a little pop. One kernel at a time. They run back inside and have to put another kernel on top.
We get it. Brilliant. And now the scary, terrifying part. What existential dread will we be facing today?
Okay, the existential dread that we'll be facing. So basically, I'll read the danger section. We're going to select our danger. Danger manifests from the fears of growing up. Roll a 1d6 to determine the danger of your game. Each danger has a unique style and abilities. Each danger makes an attack against your fort by rolling 1d6 plus the number of kids. If the danger rolls higher than your kid, it damages your fort by 2 HP. If the danger rolls a natural 6, it automatically triggers its special ability listed in the table. Each danger also has has an HP equivalent to 6 plus the number of kids, so the same as the fort.
Okay, perfect.
So, I mean, you think about it metaphorically again, the fort representing we have this definite, 1-to-1 battle. And so now who's going to roll? Who wants to be responsible for creating this danger?
We should rock, paper, scissors it. And
Okay.
then rock, paper, scissors, then shoot.
Yes.
Okay.
On shoot.
On shoot. Okay. Rock,
paper, scissors, shoot.
Nope. There.
Rock,
paper,
scissors, shoot.
shoot. No.
Okay, third time's the charm. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, okay.
I went a little early, but that works.
Which one do you want to do?
I would like to roll.
All right.
Okay, and that's a 1.
A 1. All right, so that is, in this case, the alien. That means it makes an additional attack. Make a note just because, man, I'm just, in doing this again, I'm just thinking about all these cool extra things.
Now, question: does Ralphie read a lot?
Yes, insane, but it's literally anything. Like, he will pick up manuals. He loves rereading video game manuals from like older games. So like, he's kind of bummed that like a lot of the times when you get digital copies of things, you don't get the little book.
Yeah. So in his vision of aliens, can we say that it would be a good one to be like, instead of like flying saucer aliens, instead he's read cosmic horror, and so our aliens are like non-Euclidean mathematical like equations and just a bunch of tentacles and nonsense that we can't actually comprehend or speak. Like, it doesn't actually have a name. We can't speak the name of this.
I speak the name. Oh man. What if they just called it math? Like maybe Ralph looks out the fort and he's just like, Gabby, there's a bunch of math coming for you.
I am not a thinker. This is indeed my worst fear. It's
what
math.
do we do? I mean, I guess also that is like a direct, I mean, that's not even a metaphor at that point. It's like literally they're freaked out about having to take high school algebra.
It is indeed the worst fear of my entire life. Excellent. Thank you, alien math.
Thank you, alien math. Oh my gosh.
Okay, and so alien math has 8 HP. Tallying all together our fort that also has 8 HP. So we are locked in battle of equal proportions.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because of all our extra stuff, because of our lights and the alarm.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Okay.
And our popcorn.
And popcorn. You just imagine throughout this entire thing, like every 2 minutes or so, you hear a pop, and then either Gabby or Ralph go, "We need a new corn." So now we're at gameplay. So again, kind of illustrating this, we've gone through this page, or front page and the back page, and now we're on the actual gameplay section.
Yep.
So,
and to explain how the rolls will go, so we're going to use the D6. And if I decide I can use one of my 3 stats, think, feel, do, to describe whatever I want in my turn to defend the fort against this danger. So I will use the D6 and then add either 1, 2, or 3, depending on how I describe that. And that will be my roll. It will be contested with the danger. So the danger gets 1d6 as well, plus the number of kits, so 2. So it's always going to be +2 for its roll. If it does get that 6, it actually gets to make a second attack, which is kind of not fun.
Multiplies.
Yeah.
Ralph's most hated function in math, multiplication.
And the winner of that contested roll gets to do 2 damage to the either the danger or the fort. Or we can, the kids get this specially, the danger doesn't get to do this. We can just use our action to repair the fort instead. So instead of attacking the danger, we can use that 1 contested roll to get 1 point of HP back to our fort. So I guess we roll against each other to figure out who goes first in turn.
Yeah, I mean, and not, you just got me going with the math thing. We can even imagine just like it's this manifestation, like each kid starts freaking out a bit more about just like, but yeah, I mean, algebra is
Yes.
I mean, but my mom said it's going to be useful for when I have to do budgets and pay for
Mhm.
rent and things,
But
right?
there's
We have to pay
but
for
there's
rent.
old math and new math. Which math are we facing? They
Oh
didn't
my
tell
God.
us.
Oh, this is a yeah. Ralph Ralph loves that for I don't know, maybe just all math in general. He's a
Just
math
oh.
hipster.
And now I'm imagining like an old math alien and a new math alien. Like one's kind of like decrepitly, I don't know. It's like this weird numbers and like with a cane, and then the others, just
The number
jogging
line
around. Yeah, like has
around its head like a headband. All right. Well, I guess we do have to start facing this monster though, because we need to get back to playing or get to
yeah.
high school.
Well, like to stay at the fort. Thanks. I rolled a 1 again. This is gonna be a very rough
Oh
session.
yeah, and new math rolled a 3, so that's +2. So I think narratively, I think whichever kid is
Oh,
making the roll.
yeah. No, we're rolling to see which our turn order.
Oh, I rolled a 3 then. So
Yeah, you go first.
Woo! Okay, Ralph. Yeah, Ralph was just panicking there for a second, just talking about potential realities. So because we had the alarm, again, we get to go first. So we can
Special
go
power.
ahead, and Ralph is like, I read Isaac Asimov the other day, and math is not as scary as I thought it was.
It's just numbers coming at you as it's
Numbers
kind of.
coming at me, so I got a 4.
I'm sorry, Ralph.
Ralph! Oh no! So Ralph recognizes that the Asimov he read was not actually like
Wasn't real math.
had anything to do with math.
Okay, so now we didn't clarify this. So we're gonna work through this as we talk. So that resolves, and so it gets to have its one set of 2 points against our fort. But it says it has a second attack, but each attack has to be contested. So I think what would be most kind of fair and logical is you get to roll again and try to describe. So the danger is coming, like it's just, how would I describe it? There are numbers and symbols and letters. It's kind of starting to swirl around and around and get closer and closer, shrinking, kind of like blocking out the sky and shrinking in to our fort. And so, what
Yeah,
would you do for that?
I think in that case, Ralph would say, I'm not scared of you. I know that maybe that book didn't help me so much before, but my mom did just make me an account on Khan Academy. And he's kind of just yelling that into this.
Yeah, there you go. I like the yelling. Oh,
I got another 4.
another 6. I don't know what
Oh
happens.
my gosh!
We're dead. We're dead meat. Okay, math comes at you fast, everyone. Math comes at you fast. I'm going to say that like you don't get two double attack rolls. That feels unfair.
Yeah.
We are house rulesing this because I didn't expect that to happen. So we're just gonna be like, at your turn, the math does encompass us and goes into our brains, and we're shocked kind of on our backs, like just like Looney Tune style. Oh man.
Ralph's like
Fort
realization
computer
is that he hasn't even
Fort
accessed
computer
it yet.
reporting in.
Fort computer, come
There's
save
a
us.
suggestion that you might be able to save yourself by singing songs from Schoolhouse Rock.
It's just a bill. Wait, that's not helpful. That's the only one I remember.
From math.
This is definitely why I became a librarian. Well, math is. I don't think
I
we should have
guess-
invoked math. So 4 points from our fort.
Yeah, so I think now like the door has kind of been has been shorn off a little bit. So this math storm thing is like has kind of pulled part.
Remembering that there are other subjects that we can take, like in Schoolhouse Rock, and like remembering it's just a bill, and there's politics and like other like poli sci and sociology and like humanities. We are like, okay, hold on. And so I think, okay, so Gabby's turn. What would Gabby do? So you're gonna roll for the danger, because I'm not allowed. Like, I need one more 6 because that would be great. And I'm gonna describe what I'm gonna do, because it's gonna be a do action. Gabby is going to be inspired by Schoolhouse Rock and then just start singing at it. Like, look, no, I have, rhythm. I've got music. I've got, my Ford. Who could ask for anything more? Yeah, 5. Yeah.
You got a 5. Okay.
Yes.
Wait, we didn't talk about resolving ties.
Oh, ties?
Fair
Oh.
thing for resolving ties. So I rolled a 3.
Wait, no, I got a 5 plus a 3 because there's a
Oh,
2 action. So
okay.
it's 8.
You got an 8. So yeah, the math kind of maybe it shrinks back a little bit.
Musical theater, jazz hands, Foley
Yeah,
work.
you
Let's do some Foley.
hear like a little sound from the sky of like, just theater kid choir kind of pushing the math back as it screeches in
No,
imaginary numbers.
we still have summer, musical theater with our kids program. We don't have to go to school just yet.
It's not done yet.
Not done
Awesome.
yet. Okay. So we have resolved. So with that, I'm going. So that I feel like I'm less of a thinker, even though we do need HP. It's gonna be the -2 to its HP. So it's at 6.
You're going for damage. Ralph was very much because I honestly forgot my stats when I did that. When I was like, oh, he should not be doing things.
No, I
And
made a
that's what
little
I-
card. Yeah, to
Oh,
remind myself.
Oh, that's smart. I mean,
Yeah,
because I think then, so for the next turn, I think Ralph is trying to. Or wait, no, our danger goes next.
Oh yeah, danger. So so Math is mad at and is like, look, music is math. Everything is math. Everything is numbers, and so turns into have kind of a matrix binary, like binary codes all around
Dragon
us.
Force starts to play.
Yeah,
In the sky.
exactly. Like colors being removed, and everything's turning from like physical space into numbers, and just kind of like matrixing.
Oh my gosh. Raleigh is freaking out because he's like, all this technology I've surrounded myself with, it's all math. It's
Like,
been
how
math
are you
all
gonna
along.
how are you gonna grow up? Because you have to learn how to do math if you want to keep doing the things you want
Oh
to do.
no! Oh
But you
yeah.
love this math. Oh man.
Here, what a confrontation. Um,
So yeah, I feel like that would be you rolled that one against please be kind.
all right.
Oh, it's 2. Plus 2, 4.
Okay, I got a 1.
Plus-
2 is 3.
Oh no, it attacks us again. Oh
What?
no. Oh, so it was 2, but remember I've been
Oh,
forgetting
you're
that.
rolling because you're rolling for the monster.
Yeah,
and I'm
okay.
rolling for me. But
Yeah.
but it's definitely a think. So it's plus
Just-
3,
oh.
so I got a 5.
You won.
Oh, okay. This is why writing things down is so important. That's why the actual play is so important. So yeah, it was definitely one of those. It's definitely that thing where, in kind of thinking about that and starting to freak out a little bit, Ralph goes, "But wait, I've learned all of this about I've learned how to network all of these phones together through working with Gabby. Math is gonna be nothing." And he kind of says that really quietly out loud, but you actually see kind of the storm a little bit.
Yeah.
And in doing that, he wakes himself up a little bit, and he goes over and he grabs the door and he pulls it back to heal for 2 HP.
Excellent. Because we were getting low.
All right, so we're even again, and now we are back up at the top of the turn order.
Okay. Then it's you first. Yes.
All right. And so after Ralph has kind of pulled the door back and he's just like, he is going to, I think that he's feeling, he's feeling more confident now because he's made that decision. He's recognized that thing. So he's going to, he's gonna yell out into the storm again, and kind of confront it to be like, yeah, you're not that difficult.
Nah.
Right?
Yeah, hype. Maybe you are that difficult.
Yeah.
The storm is kind of listening intently, and then No, it isn't actually that difficult. I rolled a 1.
I rolled
Like,
a 1
no.
too.
Yeah,
So
math
it's a
is
3. You each
yeah.
have 3s.
Oh, we have 3. Roll again.
Yeah, I guess we roll again.
Okay, roll again.
Yeah, I don't think we have a tie resolve, or maybe I guess we can house rule it.
Yep, that
Either
works.
both things work or we re-roll. What do you think?
I think maybe just cancel them each other out. It was like math is like you're just kind of a standoff. Like math is
Yeah,
listening, but
yeah.
it's like, are you sure it's not that hard? But you're like, no, I'm confident. So we'll
He
just
sees like the quadratic equation go by, and he's kind of just like, well, I mean, there's a rhyme for that, but it isn't really. So
maybe somebody will teach me that. Okay. Let's see. So we have all this cool technology and stuff, and I'm going to just be like, Alexa, Siri, Google, Maps. If you can just, is there a way to like do math? And so I'm just gonna start like typing in like how to do math good. And so I'm just gonna, like a library, like a little mini library, and just be like, is there a way to figure, like maybe somebody else has done this or knows about stuff? And so I'll go to our little computer, and just like not type, not even type, but just asking like one of our little microphone ports.
all right,
And that's a Dewey action. Yeah. So
yeah, that's very much like you're seeking out knowledge, I think. And in doing that, the storm reacts somewhat, and we this really high level stuff in like talking about like 0 was never actually part of the, like what
a
is
little
0 and that sort of thing. So got a 4.
I got a 6.
There we
So-
go, Gabby. That's what
Yeah.
Ralph yells. He's like over her shoulder, just like
So-
yeah.
I'm gonna imagine this. What happens is that like on one of our screens gets pulled up a libguide, and it's a
Yes.
and there's a it's a libguide directed towards younger people. Like, is math hard? And it's like no, and like has all these cool like things that we can understand and comprehend, and it makes math very cool and easy and all. Like I see lots and lots of resources, and I'm like, oh, hey, no, like we could figure this out. We could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we really need to go to the library more, Gabs. Like, that's wild.
Yeah, like librarians are super cool and amazing, and you help you with all resources and are really fantastic, amazing people. Yeah.
What great webinars they give. Like, look, they're live right now. That's
Oh,
wild.
what's this? A round table? That seems really cool.
Twitch. I didn't know librarians were cool enough to be on Twitch. Ralph is very good. And as they get distracted by their enthusiasm around librarians, the math storm starts to. Who rolled last time again?
I rolled for math, so you can roll for math this
Roll
time,
for
and
math.
I will react to whatever math wants to do.
All right.
Oh, and
right.
so that takes off. Since I succeeded in that one, that's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
they're at 4 HP now.
4
and
HP.
we're yeah.
So only the hardest equations are left in the storm. You know, those really like direct cut, like graph theory is like a word that.
And then pi exceed like just going on forever into infinity.
It's coiling around. It's like maybe transformed a little bit into this giant math snake that's trying to wrap itself around the fort. But it's looking rough.
Okay.
So math.
So math snake's coming at me, and I will roll because I'm gonna. Gabby's on a roll.
Woo!
So
and math snake got a 4. So rolled a 2 plus 2.
and then as I know from scouting, there's actually not that many species of poisonous snake in North America. So really, I'm not scared of this math. Because it's turned itself into a king snake, or like one of those like red and yellow, you're a dead fellow, red and black, you're okay, Jack. Like I looked at like no, it's fine, like those colors aren't poisonous, we're good.
And the math reacts with practical statistics.
No, you turned into a snake. Now it's a metaphor, and I understand this better.
I feel like we are as librarians. We're very much like, regardless of whether you stay kids for the summer, like you're gonna learn something.
Look, they're very precocious kids. They just don't want to go to high school.
In general, I mean, if you're building a fort, like,
So
all right.
It fails, so then goes down 2 HP. It's down to 2 HP. Bring us home, Ralph. Bring us home, Ralphie.
Right. And Ralph is just like, wow, Gabby, I didn't know that. I didn't know that those sorts of snakes were so, that's wild. Alexa Siri, Google Maps. What is, what is, what's your favorite type of math? And Ralph is trying to think of just the reality that is, wow, since math is all around us anyway, maybe it's not even scary in the first place. Also, we have these great tools that let us do math by ourselves.
So yeah, it's the last hurrah for math. It's just trying its best. The last couple equations are still hanging in the air.
All right, I got 3 plus 3.
Okay, I got 4 plus 2. So 6.
So evens out.
Evens
Ralph
out again.
Ralph gets a whole lot of feedback from Alexa, Siri, Google Maps.
It's just distracted.
And it's just like, oh, okay, that's a lot of math. That's a lot of math.
Fort computer reporting that if you see math you don't like, try using an eraser.
I
All
run
right,
over
what's
to
Gabby doing?
I run over to our whiteboard because we obviously have one for all of our planning, all of our plotting, and I grab the 2 erasers and I'm physically just scrubbing the air. Like it doesn't exist. It's not here. If I can't perceive it, it's not real. I think, therefore I am. There's some philosophy in there. Once again, both philosophy.
A horse, a cart, something.
Let's go.
All right, and again, this is math going in for that like chomp onto the side of the fort, and whiffs it real bad. It's a 1.
I got 5. So 2 plus 3.
Man, Gabby, just killing it.
It was a team effort. You held it. So it's gone. Math is,
and you hear the sort of the sounds of a million like SAT, ACT math students. Their voices are groaning for a moment, and then there's a cheer.
Hey, it's done. I want to say kind of cinematically and thematically, not that we defeated the monster, but we defeated rather our fear of the monster. Working through that process, the entire time we're like, oh, it's bad, it's horrible. Then we're both grappling with it, and it's like, wait a second, growing up isn't so bad, but not yet. Not afraid of it, but
we're not afraid of it, but we can wait.
Yeah.
Maybe like the math snake kind of settles over the top of the fort and kind of just sinks in. So now we have a pie that is like decorating the outside of the fort, and
it just sinks in as numbers, and so
yes, it looks really cool.
It's so
that's just what Ralph is sitting there being like, math looks really cool, Gabby. This is we can do this.
We can do
this.
Yeah. And librarians are really cool.
Yeah. I kind of want to go get snow cones though right now. Do you want to go get snow cones?
Hop. He'll go great with our popcorn.
Yeah.
Fade to black. Thank you so much for playing me, Russell. That was brilliant. And thank you, audience and computer, for all of your fantastic advice. I love it so much.
No, that was clutch storytelling advice.
Okay. So let's leave our fort and go back to the library world.
All right. All right, we're there.
We're there? Okay, perfect. I'm so excited. Well, thank you so much for playing with me, Russell. That was, I think, one of my favorite things I've done today.
Me too. Good way to end the Friday, or I guess middle of the Friday. Good way to end.
We'll call it Ed.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if we're being honest.
Not too much. So I really liked, there's a couple things we can go over, but just starting off with initial reactions to the game. I really liked how simple it was. I thought once, because it took a second to kind of understand the gameplay rules, but reading through a second time, everything else was brilliant and easy, like setting up your character, setting up your fort, your danger, all that took, you saw it. We did the entire process in front of you. So
yeah, and that and in the playtest that we did before, too, it's really interesting the difference that we had in kind of tone. Not like a huge shift in tone,
Hmm.
but it's really interesting how like we definitely had like more of an understanding, kind of the metaphorical sense of the
Hmm.
game.
Oh yeah,
Which
yeah.
whereas in the first time we played, it was much more like kind of a actual threat.
Yeah, we played it straight, and I think that would be interesting if you had programming with depending on what age group, because obviously this is a very nostalgic game. We're looking back, and so once we figured out the metaphor aspect of it, we definitely rolled it into the gameplay and all of the kind of our hidden hints include, or not hidden, but like our asides, that kind of thing, worked into it. But if you had like a much younger group, so maybe somebody that just transitioned from middle school to high school, and you're playing with them, and that's very fresh, it might be more less metaphorical and more like, oh yeah, like, or even somebody younger that doesn't quite understand metaphors yet. I still think you could play this probably with a kid, but still the extra layer of metaphorical dread, it kind of would go away to like, now we're just fighting a monster. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And then that the sort of way it rounds off to allow for the little bits of storytelling, like whether you succeed or fail.
Hmm.
In the same sense that like TTRPGs do that a lot, but the quickness of that, just one roll, you do it or you don't.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we haven't talked about it yet, but this um the game is from this book, Ultimate Micro RPG by James D'Amato. Links to be included. And we have a master list of links that will pop into the chat as well at the end. But uh, it's filled with all these kinds of really small micro RPGs that are really get easy to get into, that have themes that can be used for like older, younger, all the way in between. And some of them, like this was our lightest one because we're thinking, oh, end of summer, that kind of thing. But there are definitely themes that we played a little bit with the existential dread and metaphor, but that really lend themselves into those kinds of areas as well, if you want that kind of game.
Yeah, and it's just the variety of it. So again, just sort of and even after having read this and played it again, that sort of the the big affordance of being able to adjust things. So like you were saying before, beyond just demographics, so like who the sort of players you're getting. Maybe they're new, maybe they just want something quick to do, but in general, being able to theme something like summer break around something else. Maybe you have it's literally just something you're defending, and someone is something is imposing on it, so you
Mm-hmm.
could probably find a variety of different sort of contexts to use the mechanics of the game
Mm-hmm.
to make that appropriate for whatever youth programming you might be using, something like
Yeah.
that. Or we're both in academic libraries, so
Mm-hmm.
to be able to contextualize it with
Mm-hmm.
with math in this
With
case.
math, yeah. Well, and the nice thing about academic programming is it can serve a couple of different functions. One, de-stress is high on the list of things that we do at LSU.
Hmm.
We try very hard to make sure there is space and programs that are for the sole purpose of you just have fun, you enjoy yourself. So we do relaxation rooms, we do things like stress balls, we coffee, donuts, all kinds of just, this is not for thinking time, this is for relaxing time because you're doing a lot of thinking already. We want to give you a break so that way your brain can rest and then you can go on refreshed to those next things. So something like this would be really good for that.
And metaphorically again, that's very much,
It's like, do
we
you want?
did. I just love the playthrough. They're using math as the enemy in that sense, because it very much emphasizes that sort of, again, hey, we're not going to avoid this completely, but we need to chill out.
Yeah, exactly. So the layers in programming are so much fun. And also sometimes it can be hard, I think, in academia to do fun programming like this, like using a game like Summer Break where it's like, okay, pretend to be kids. But one of the things I think we did really well during that session was we worked very collaboratively. Like I would build off of what you did, you would build off of what we did. We both took information. Thank you, computer, for that beautiful information from Twitch. And so we're able to kind of interweave that into a story. And I think what is great about storytelling is it's a like when it's TTRPGs, it's a collaborative process. Together, we're building something that's amazing and fun and wonderful. And so, if you have to kind of coach what you're doing in terms that maybe admin wouldn't, it would be more acceptable to them. It's like, oh, we're doing collaboration, we're doing team building, we're doing sessions where they can work with their cohorts and get to understand them in project development, like all those kinds of words. And really, we're just having some fun together, which
Yeah.
I love. Does the computer, the chat have any questions, or do you have any questions? Also, thank you so much for running for us.
No questions right now coming through on Twitch. I did love being your fort computer. That was totally not planned at all.
It was the best thing. It was brilliant.
Stress High Mayhem.
Low stress, high mayhem. Yes.
I was like, how
Always.
do I interject the Twitch comments and still keep this like on theme and it makes sense? But you were so techie, and then you had just named your fort after a bunch of computers. So
I love it. Oh, thank you so very much for that. Yeah, it's and that's one of the interesting things about Twitch and learning this medium in kind of this way too is we're collaborating and getting to play in this space, but also trying to figure it out all together. So, yeah,
And
if you,
projecting that,
yes,
making that useful for people who watch it is a really, I mean, in the same, we do webinars and, but I don't know, honestly, right now, it feels like the quality in terms of feeling of it
Mhm.
is very, very, I guess, a more performative sort of thing, which is interesting thinking about the narrative pieces, because I was just like, oh, yes, okay, theater kid sort of energy is kind of a de facto, actual play feeling.
Yeah. And so kind of like that extra layer of this session where we're obviously performing on Twitch, we're showcasing kind of how this game could be played, but also if you take that into your libraries, how might that look for you to perform for your patrons, for like people coming in? Would you want to bring in I don't know, like that's all kinds of questions to think about. Would you want like to be librarians playing it together and to showcase in a friendly way, here's your librarians, or would you want to do an actual play with um groups of people that could come in? So adults would be really easy. Children on Twitch, maybe not so much. That would be some legal things. But even just the idea of having librarians in this space that, our patrons are going to be on anyway, I think is a valuable kind of exploration into virtual third space and virtual kind of programming in a different way. So I'm very happy to be able to do this
Watch
for
out,
everyone.
Twitch, the
Yeah.
librarians.
Librarians are coming.
They're here. I mean, there's lots of, I think a few cool librarian stuff going on.
Yeah. I think, and I also think one of our shticks might be that I need to inject like how librarians make everything better into every like role play event now.
I mean, why not? It's useful. I mean, hey, if there's somebody out there who's watching this recording or right now and you didn't know what libguides are, hopefully you do now.
Yeah,
There's things that
libguides.
librarians make to guide you through things.
So libguides, for those of us who don't know, are a SpringShare platform for hosting reference and library guides. Library guides are created by librarians to have a bunch of different resources available for any subject, from how to math to how to succeed in class to how to use the library. So they're fun and wonderful.
I will say, when you said that you asked the computer for a libguide, I did get on Google and search for a kids math libguide and put it in chat.
Oh,
Because I too am a
and
librarian.
it got you there? It got you to one?
I love that so much.
Alexa, Siri, Google Maps.
Yeah,
Alexa, Siri,
the
Google Maps.
first one that I could find was from Lemon College. They have a children's books math collection on their libguide. So
That makes me
threw
so
that in
happy.
chat.
I knew it. There would be a lip guide. Yes. I love librarians so much. We're so collaborative and cool.
Why we won,
Yeah.
because of librarians. That's why Ralph and Gabby are able, they're able to maintain summer for that much longer because they go to the library.
I love it. I love it.
Imagine the stories they will tell to the librarians. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. You fought a math snake? Cool.
You know, I
Wow.
have heard weirder
Really
things and
really
worse
need to
things.
stop asking people if you can have their own cell phones in the library.
Well, that has been our actual play session and our discussion about it. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you so much, computer, for helping us wrangle that chat. Thank you so much, Russell. So if you'll come back September 9th, we will have our newest Twitch program, Roundtable, where we've gathered our nerdiest librarians, and we're going to do this discussion part for the whole hour and talk about games and theory and programming in libraries. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Low Stress,
I'm a him.
the Games Roundtable. Thank you and have a great day.